Danny Morgan never thought the day would come when he'd stop waiting for his father and start walking away from him. But what if that day is already here? Because in Port Charles right now, two kids are standing at the edge of something dangerous. Something reckless. Something that could change everything. And if they take one more step, there may be no way back. It starts quietly, no explosions, no gunshots, no warning. Just a familiar feeling, settling deep inside Danny Morgan's chest. That empty feeling, the one he knows all too well. Because once again, Jason Morgan is leaving. Again, Danny stands there trying to act like it's nothing, trying to be strong, trying to be okay. And for a moment, it almost works. Because he smiles, he nods, he even tells Jason it's fine. But here's the truth. It's not fine, not even close. Jason is heading out of town, another mission, another dangerous situation. Another moment where someone else comes first. This time, it's about protecting Dr. Britt Westbourne. And Danny, he's staying behind. Again, now here's where it gets complicated. Because Danny doesn't fight it. He doesn't beg, he doesn't even argue. Instead, he says something that should send chills down every General Hospital fan's spine. He says, "Mom would have understood." And for a second, everything stops. Because we all know the truth. Sam McCall would not have understood. Not like this. Not this kind of choice. Not another moment where Jason walks away from his son. That one line, it's not acceptance, it's pain, disguised as understanding, and that kind of pain doesn't just disappear, it builds. Now here's where things start to shift. Because while Jason is off playing hero, Danny's life is about to change in a way he never expected. He's moving in with Alexis Davis. At first, it sounds like a good idea, safe, stable, responsible, everything Jason isn't. But what no one is saying out loud is that this might be the worst possible situation for Danny right now. Because Alexis, she doesn't parent like Jason. Not even close. Jason is hands-off. Easygoing, he gives Danny space, freedom, trust. But Alexis, she has rules, structure, expectations, and she enforces them. And Danny, he's not used to that. Not at all. So what happens when a kid who's already feeling abandoned is suddenly placed in a house full of rules? What happens when freedom is replaced with control? When silence is replaced with pressure? You don't get peace. You get rebellion, and it doesn't happen overnight. It starts small, a look, a sigh, a door closed a little too hard. But then, it grows. Because deep down, Danny isn't angry about the rules. He's angry about something much bigger. He's angry that his father chose something else. Again. And Alexis, she may not see it right away, she'll think it's normal teenage behavior, adjustment issues, growing pains, but it's more than that. Way more. Because Danny is starting to realize something. Something dangerous, something that could change how he sees everything. What if his dad isn't coming back the way he hopes? What if this is just who Jason is? A man who leaves. A man who chooses missions over moments. A man who will always be somewhere else. When Danny needs him most. And once that thought takes root, it doesn't go away. Now across town, another child is dealing with a very similar kind of pain. But her situation, it's even more complicated. Charlotte Cassadine. Smart, sharp, unpredictable. And right now, she's caught in a situation that could explode at any moment. Because her father, Valentin Cassadine, isn't just absent. He's hiding, an escaped fugitive from Steinmauer prison, living in secret, staying out of sight. And somehow, he's ended up in the last place anyone would expect. Carly Spencer's attic. And that changes everything. Because Charlotte knows where he is. She visits him. She spends time with him. She gets pieces of her father back in secret. But here's the problem. It's not enough. It's never enough. Because even when Valentin is there, he's not fully there. Not really, his attention is divided, his focus is slipping. And the reason? It has a name. Carly. Now imagine being Charlotte. You finally have your father back, but he's distracted. pulled in another direction, focused on someone else? Would you feel happy, or would you feel replaced? Because Charlotte has been here before. She's seen her father's priorities shift. She's watched him walk away. She's lived through the distance. And now it's happening again, just in a different form, but this time, she's older, smarter, more aware, and that makes it worse. Because she starts to notice things, the looks, the energy, the connection between Valentin and Carly, and once she sees it, she can't unsee it. So the question becomes, what does Charlotte do with that information? Does she accept it? Does she embrace it? Does she convince herself that Carly is cool and everything is fine? Or does something darker begin to grow? Because Charlotte isn't just any kid, she's a Cassadine, and Cassadines, they don't just accept things, they react. Now here's where the story takes a turn. Because Danny and Charlotte, they're not just dealing with similar pain, they're starting to understand each other. They've bonded, connected, found something familiar in each other's struggles. Two kids, two absent fathers, two lives filled with uncertainty. And now, they're both reaching a breaking point. Danny feels abandoned. Charlotte feels overlooked. And when those feelings collide, that's when things get dangerous. Because suddenly, it's not just about their fathers anymore. It's about control, freedom, escape. And for the first time, a thought begins to form. A quiet one, a risky one, a life-changing one. What if they just leave? No rules, no waiting, no more disappointment, just freedom. And here's the scary part. That idea. It doesn't sound crazy to them, it sounds right. Because Charlotte already knows how to live like that. On the move. Unpredictable. Free. And Danny? He's starting to wonder what it would feel like to stop waiting for his father and start making his own choices. But if they go down this path, they won't just be rebelling, they'll be running. And once they do that, everything changes. Because two teenagers out on their own, in a world like Port Charles, that's not just risky, it's dangerous. And the moment they take that first step, they won't realize it yet. But they'll already be in over their heads. So the question is, what pushes them over the edge? What moment, what choice, what heartbreak finally makes them say, we're done? Because that moment, it's coming. And when it hits, Port Charles will never be the same. That moment, it doesn't come with a warning, it comes quietly, like everything else. It starts with Danny. Late at night, the house is too quiet, too still, too controlled. Alexis has already gone to bed. Everything is in its place, lights off, doors locked, rules followed, and Danny, he's wide awake. Staring at the ceiling, thinking about Jason, about how easily he left. About how calm he sounded when he said it was too dangerous for Danny to come along. Too dangerous. That word keeps echoing, because Danny is starting to realize something, it's always too dangerous for him. But never too dangerous for Jason. Jason runs toward danger, Danny is told to stay behind. And for the first time, that doesn't feel like protection. It feels like rejection. Danny sits up, runs his hands through his hair, exhales slowly. He doesn't want to feel this way, but he does. And then, his eyes drift toward his phone. One message sits there, unread. From Charlotte. Now across town, Charlotte is dealing with her own storm. She's sitting in Carly's house. Quiet. Still. Listening. Because upstairs, in that attic, is her father. So close, and yet, not fully hers. Charlotte had come to see him earlier, to talk, to feel that connection again. But something felt different this time. Valentin wasn't fully focused. His eyes wandered. His tone shifted. His attention slipped. And Charlotte noticed. Of course she did. Because she always notices. And then it happened. A small moment. One that might seem harmless to anyone else, but not to her. Carly walked in, smiling, comfortable, familiar. And Valentin, he smiled back, not like a father, not like a man in hiding, like something else. And in that moment, Charlotte felt it. That sharp twist in her chest. That sinking feeling. That quiet realization. She's not the center of his world anymore. Not really, and just like that, everything changes. Because Charlotte has been through this before. Different faces, different women. Same result. She comes second. So she leaves. Quietly, without saying much. But inside, something is shifting, something dangerous. And that's when she sends the message. Do you ever feel like you don't belong anywhere? Back at Alexis's house, Danny reads it. And for a moment, he just stares. Because that question, it hits too close, too real, too honest. He types, stops, deletes, types again. Finally, he sends it. Yeah, all the time. And just like that, the connection deepens. 2 kids, 2 broken feelings, 1 shared truth. They don't feel like they belong, not where they are, not with the people who are supposed to be there for them. And when that feeling takes hold, it doesn't let go. The conversation continues. Slow at first, then faster, more honest, more raw. They talk about their fathers, about the distance, about the disappointment. Danny admits something he hasn't said out loud before. He always leaves. Charlotte reads it and replies with just 3 words. I know that feeling. And in that moment, they're no longer just friends, they're allies. Now here's where everything starts to spiral, because what begins as a conversation turns into an idea, a dangerous one. What if we just left? Danny stares at the message, heart racing. Because a part of him already thought about it, he just never said it out loud. Until now, what do you mean? Charlotte doesn't hesitate. Leave Port Charles, just go. Simple, direct, terrifying, and yet, there's something about it that feels right. No more rules, no more waiting, no more feeling second. Just freedom. Danny stands up, starts pacing. This is crazy. He knows that, but then again, so is everything else. Because staying, that hurts too. And at least leaving would be his choice. Not something decided for him. Now think about Charlotte. This isn't new to her. She's lived on the move. She knows how to disappear, how to adapt, how to survive. In some strange way, this feels natural to her, and that makes her even more dangerous. Because she's not afraid. Danny? He's scared. But also, excited. For the first time in a long time, he feels in control, and that feeling, it's addictive. So they start talking details. Not everything, not a full plan, but enough. Enough to make it real, enough to make it possible, and that's when the real danger begins. Because once an idea becomes possible, it becomes powerful, and these two, they're already halfway there. But here's what they don't realize, they're not just running away from something, they're running straight into something else. Something darker, something they're not ready for, because the world outside Port Charles, it doesn't care who their fathers are. It doesn't care about their pain, their reasons, their anger. It will test them, push them, break them, if they're not careful. And if they go through with this, they won't just be missed. They'll be hunted. Jason will come back to an empty room. Alexis will panic. Carly will realize Charlotte is gone. And Valentin will lose control. Because no matter how distracted he's been, Charlotte is still his daughter. And losing her, that's not something he can handle. So imagine this. 2 missing teens. Connections to powerful people, a city thrown into chaos. Searches, panic, fear, and somewhere out there, Danny and Charlotte, trying to survive, trying to prove something, trying to take control of lives that feel out of control. But here's the real question, what happens when reality hits? When the excitement fades? When the danger becomes real? When they realize they may have made the biggest mistake of their lives? Because turning back won't be easy, and some choices you can't undo. So now I want to ask you something. Do you think Danny and Charlotte will really go through with it? Will they run and risk everything, or will something or someone stop them before it's too late? And if they do leave, who do you think finds them first? Jason, Valentin, or someone far more dangerous? Let me know what you think in the comments. Because this storyline, It has the potential to flip Port Charles upside down. And if you don't want to miss what happens next, make sure you subscribe for daily General Hospital spoilers, recaps, and predictions. Because trust me, this is just the beginning.